Welcome to Creating Connections Podcast, episode number 107. I am Mitch Taylor.
And I'm Vicki Musney.
And today is our Q&A episode. We discuss a recent question that came up in our Sales for Event Pros group on Facebook. If you're an event pro and not a part of our Facebook group, we invite you to join us. Just go to facebook.com, search Sales for Event Pros, and join our group. There's over 1,100 like-minded individuals just like you, small business entrepreneurs sharing their successes, their challenges, and helping each other out grow with success in business. We invite you to join us there. Keep listening. We bring up a recent topic and address it up next.
That was nice and easy.
What are you talking about? This also speaks to a much bigger issue.
Providing personal solutions through understanding people. This is the Creating Connections Podcast with Gimme certified advisor Mitch Taylor and certified personality trainer Vicki Musney.
So recently, one of the videographers in the group posted a question that deals with timing of events and how long is on the contract and whether or not the clients should get a break in the middle. And I think this affects a lot of vendors and event pros that work in different capacities, videographers, photographers, DJs as well, if you were dealing with a break between ceremony and reception. Mm-hmm. So do you want to dig a little deeper?
Yeah, in this case, it was a videographer, as Vicki stated,
mm-hmm.
and the contract was listed for 8 hours of coverage. Capture time is always consecutive, he states in here. States here, excuse me. And then when she sent the itinerary, it noticed there was a 2-hour break right in the middle of the day. And, people are changing outfits, they're touching up makeup, all those kind of things. And the itinerary had them staying until 10:30. So the client just assumed that they could insert a 2-hour break in the middle of the event pro's day mm-hmm. and not pay them for that time.
Yeah.
Now, this is all about having explicit things laid out in a contract and having a discussion.
When I first read that's true. My first thought was, oh yeah, this used to happen to me. But I learned.
Yes, and me as well. And mm-hmm. now it's to the point where we offer, like, for example, if we have ceremony, sound, and coordination services attached to reception entertainment, then we always list that specifically as you get up to this much time included in this package. Mm-hmm. And that lays it out. And then the entertainment side of things, I'm a huge stickler for this. And I tell our couples in the planning process, we have conversations. It's a line item on the contract that they specifically have to initial. Like they have to go, well, I didn't read the contract. You get that all the time. I didn't know. Okay, so put their names, or have them initial right next to that clause. Mm-hmm. So for us, when we're dealing with times from an entertainment side of things, I tell our couples, all performance times must commence upon scheduled guest arrival time, with guest arrival time deemed listed on the event invitation. And I'll even say in the planning session, there's only 2 times I care about.
Yeah.
We start when guests arrive. I don't believe in walking in halfway through a party. It's kind of like walking in halfway through a movie. You don't know what's going on, mm-hmm. And number 2, I want dinner to go on time for you guys because you spend a lot of money on food. Mm-hmm. You're spending, however much dollars, 2 to 3 figures on food per plate per person. And that adds up.
But this is where the dinner is interesting that you bring that up, because from the entertainment perspective, you're still working during dinner. You're still playing music. It's a different kind. And some MCs are a little bit more involved with helping people, if it's a buffet, getting them to the table, whatever. But at minimum, you've got some background music,
of course,
that you're playing. But for photographers and videographers, we're often told, well, we don't want to pay you for, during the meal, and we don't want pictures and video of people eating, which is true. You don't.
Right.
And so this is a regular conversation and an issue that we have to deal with. And I don't know how everybody else handles it, but for our video company, we do our packages consecutively, and we are very clear with that up front. They don't get to schedule a break. If there is a longer gap, then we will suggest things that we can do during that time that would be of value to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to, book extra time if they want us to stay longer. But for example, taking the meal, that's the time when, no, I'm not going around and filming their guests eating, but that's the time when I will go and do maybe some outside establishing shots, or I'll get pictures of the signs and the lights, or I'll take their rings from them while they're eating, and I'll do my close-up shots of the rings, where I'll spin them or put them on the cake, or the different things that I do. So we can do those kind of things during that time, or even just getting some of the other detail shots if there's a fireplace in the corner or gift table,
your B-roll shots.
Yeah, all of that. So that's when I tell people, no, I can still be doing a lot of work and getting a lot of that covered during your time without bothering your guests. Because no, I agree with you. Nobody wants to be filmed while they're eating. Nobody wants to look at footage of people eating. No. So I might walk down the buffet if they've got a really cool, food spread or something unique about that.
There's something unique to it. Absolutely.
Yeah. And just document that for the client. But
here's the biggest problem I have, not necessarily with our poster friend at Sales for Event Pros Group, not at all, but with wedding pros in general. And I know that from working in several different markets over the years. I've worked in LA, Miami, Detroit, Maine, here. My biggest issue is not creating a package that serves your client's needs in full.
Well said. And that is going to vary from region to region too.
Correct.
Because you and I have had this conversation where it's perfectly normal where you live to have these huge gaps between the ceremony and the reception.
Yeah.
That's not a thing here. That's very uncommon. I've seen it a time or two. If they had a church wedding, for example, and they couldn't get the reception site they wanted until a certain time, but it's pretty unusual.
Yeah. And so for me, building a setup, like if you have a photographer, for example, and you're going to start at noon, but you only have an 8-hour package that goes consecutive. Well, when do most of the dancing start? Like a first dance or a father-daughter or a mother, about 8 o'clock at night, typically. Mm-hmm. So why would you not build a package to say, listen, we'll at least stay through these specialty dances? Regardless of the time, quote unquote, I don't care if you build it and add the extra hour on, but just build packages and services that fit your client's needs without having to have them exorbitantly pay beyond that.
Yes. And this is one of the things I commented, you have to be able to provide a solution.
Yes.
So in this example that was shared, I said a lot of people think they have to have the videographer come hours and hours early and get all of that pre-ceremony, getting ready footage. And I tell people, really? Like, how many brides want to see themselves with no makeup on in HD on their big screen TV?
Yeah.
Not too many. I know I wouldn't. And so you can find other ways to do that. So especially if they're going to do some photos beforehand, they're going to have a place where they come back and regroup, some kind of bride's room where they are hanging out before the ceremony starts.
Absolutely.
And you know what they're doing during that time? Mm-hmm. They're touching up their makeup. They're fluffing, the bride's veil. Make her put her shoes back on again.
Love seeing
take
the
them off.
Get fluffed.
And for the guys, I'll just have him take off his jacket and put it back on, or I'll get close-up video of him buttoning the shirt up again, or straightening his tie in the mirror, stuff like that. So you can get some of that when they're getting refreshed You don't have to get it the first time.
Yes.
You don't have to get it when the, hair and makeup people get there at 5 a.m. And like I'd advise my brides to plan differently than that, because you don't want to get your hair done at 5 a.m.
Well, and here's the other thing, and I had this happen once, and this seems like I'm bashing photographers. I'm not. Really, I'm not. I promise.
Choose your words carefully.
I work with a lot of great photographers in my marketplace and a lot of great event pros, period, in my marketplace. I remember one specific photographer that I worked with at one wedding, and it drove me nuts. The stuff you're talking about, Vicki, with the video side, I absolutely get it and think it's okay, because this is smaller, minute stuff that is showing on the video for B-roll and getting ready footage, and I get that. But I worked with a photographer once who staged the father-daughter dance, who staged the mother-son dance on the dance floor and took pictures, because his time was up before they were starting those moments and he was leaving.
Wow. Well, thankfully, I've never seen that before.
I have.
And I am really glad. The closest I've come, I have faked cake cuttings when I used to manage photography at a casino property, and they were booking, a lot of weddings, and I was selling 60-minute photo packages. It was not an ideal situation, but if they were only buying 60 or 90 minutes, then I would have the photographer end with taking them, doing some photos in front of their cake, but it was usually out of sight of the guests. It wasn't like pulling them onto the dance floor when everybody's around watching. That's a little too extreme for me.
Yeah, it was during cocktail hour or dinner, whatever, but still, what are her memories going to be of that moment when she gets that picture back? It's
look, this is where we faked it.
Exactly. And so there's no point to me in purchasing that or creating that. It needs to be organic, and you're eliminating the emotion out of the event at that point. And anything that eliminates the emotion out of the event, I'm completely against.
Well, and it goes back to your first point, which is create and sell packages that serve your client's needs.
Yes.
Sorry, that's the bottom line.
It is the bottom line. And that is the bottom line for our episode here, episode 107. Thanks for joining us for Creating Connections for Event Pros. I am Mitch.
And I'm Vicki.
If you want more information, you want to learn how we can help you build stronger and deeper connections, then go to creatingconnections.biz, sign up for our 31-day challenge, or better yet, invite us, the Creating Connections team, to come out and speak to your group or organization. We'd love to help you in this process. Creating Connections for Event Pros podcast, providing personal solutions through understanding people better. We'll see you next time.
Have a great week.
Thank you for listening to the Creating Connections podcast with Gimme Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musni. For more information on providing personal solutions through understanding people better, visit creatingconnections.biz.